Hello, 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 people. How is everyone on this lovely evening? It is the first time I've returned in a very long time, and in the spirit of trying new things, I am going to try and do a sit-down video chat with content creators, whether they're small, large, whatever, where we just talk about certain things that I don't hear any of the big content creators speaking about for more than just literally 2 minutes. And yeah, we'll just see where this goes. But today I've actually got one of the Pandemic crew members. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. Some of you might be interested into where he came from, what he's doing, what his favourite colour is, and how many toes he has. We shall find out very soon, because on the other call is Tackproductions, and let's cut into the interview screen. Hello, Tack. How are you?
Hello, I am well. Oh,
Good.
yay! Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've been
Wonderful.
busy, very busy. Work has very much kept me away from the computer for a long time, but now I'm back and I'm hoping to make an impact with something new. This is my something
because
new.
lack of work has kept me fixed to my computer for a long time. The entire opposite problem. Not problem. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess solution for some people, I guess.
Certainly is. Certainly is.
But right, so who is Tackproductions?
Who is he?
Yes.
He is me, and I am him. I guess. We It all began many years ago. If you would cast your minds back to I can't do maths. Like 12. No. Where are we? Yeah, maybe about 12-ish years ago, I guess. Something like that is when I first started making waves on the internet.
12
Put it in quotes.
years ago.
Something like that. Where does that put us? 2008-ish, which feels about right. So it was initially a project between me and one of my close friends. We just had a spare summer holiday and initially started off making like short comedy sketches and stuff like that.
Right.
And then he went off to university. He was studying at university in Wales, and where I'm in London, it kind of became a lot more difficult to piece sketches together because they would have to rely on Skype, basically. So we started doing this was at like the height of the Yogscast and things like that, doing their Shadow of Israel series and all kinds of cool Minecrafty stuff. So we had a go at doing similar sort of stuff, like trying to do multiplayer over a server, and recording it and communicating via Skype. Then his degree kind of began to pick up speed and all that sort of stuff. He wasn't able to put the time to it, so he just went, "Why don't you take hold of the channel?" So that's what I did. I took hold of our YouTube channel and turned it into the Goliath of internet culture that it is today.
Internet culture. I like that saying. I like that. It does kind of go into it a bit more, a broad spectrum of content, I guess.
You got to dare to dream.
Well, it's true.
And that's kind of how it all started. I then spent ages just doing Let's Plays of all sorts of various video games. I did Minecraft, Dishonored. I've done Tomb Raider 2. That was one of my favorites because I've got thumbnails designed where I have my face superimposed over Lara Croft's. So there are pictures of me on the internet with a much more impressive cleavage than I have now. They are beautiful. They are beautifully done. but also very, very scary in a way.
Oh my god, that would be the cosplay you would have to go to, like an E3 or a Comic Con in just for the lols.
Like it's so well done. Like it's even kind of he even managed to kind of Photoshop her hairline perfectly. So I've got the perfect part down the middle, a ponytail that comes down over my shoulder. He did great on it. But like it was all those sorts of I just kind of did Let's Plays for ages. Which is kind of what I always wanted to do. Before Tackproductions, I had like another YouTube channel that I started doing. I was inspired to do because I watched a guy playing through various Super Mario Worlds hacks and things like that. So I was like, I want to do something like that. Some of them look good and entertaining, and maybe that would be a cool way in. But yeah, so then after Let's Plays, I started doing vlogs and that kind of thing, and just filming my day-to-day life. I spent, I think it was the year 2012. I did a vlog a day for the entire year.
Jesus, how long were they?
Short. Some of them were relatively short. Some of them were like, I'm on my way to uni today. We're doing this, and that. I'll let you know how it goes. Cut to the end of the day, and it's like, oh, we did this and this. It went really, really well. However, blah blah blah. Tomorrow we're going and doing something else, and then that would be like a half-hour one because we'd be hanging out with friends in the park and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It may have been 2012 or 2013 because one of those years was a year where I was due to pass my driving test. 2013, I was due to pass my driving test. I was turning 21, and I was graduating from uni in the same year. So I want to do something for every single day of the year, just because it's a relatively big year in terms of life's yardsticks.
Do you know what you should try and do if you get the chance? Do you still have those videos? Are they still on? What you should try and do is you try and find a still of your face from each one of them. And I've seen a lot of people do these where they literally transpose their face throughout every single day of the year just to see how much you've changed.
See kind of how optimistic I am at the start of the year, and then how weathered and downtrodden I am by March.
From young strapping lad to Gandalf in 1 year.
Where are we going? Just go home. That was it. 4 months. That's all it took.
Get to the final day. You shall not pass these tests.
I don't care whether you pass them or not. I've had enough. I didn't do that, but there was. So not shortly after, but after I'd been vlogging for 5 years, I uploaded a kind of 5-year compilation.
Right.
On the day that I uploaded my first vlog 5 years later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense, yeah.
I think you know what I'm trying to say, but it was a clunky way of saying it. I think it was January the 16th, I think, something like that. I uploaded the first vlog to the Tackproductions YouTube channel. And then 5 years later on that day, I then had an hour-long 5-year compilation of highlights, is what I guess I would call them, and things
Funny
like
parts,
that. Just to kind of see what I've done over 5 years and how it went. It's almost like a time capsule. That's what the channel kind of turned into at that point. It was a time capsule of stuff that I've done and all that kind of thing, and memories and that sort of stuff. And then kind of switched back into Let's Plays just because the vlogs kind of all began to take the same sort of format, and there wasn't really much interest to them. So I went back to Let's Plays and video games, and then that was pretty much the story until earlier this year, where I decided to kick Twitch's doors down and take the platform by storm.
Yeah, okay.
And that's kind of brought us to this moment here, really. That's I'd like to say that's the abridged version of my time on the internet, but it was quite detailed.
The chapters to your book.
Yeah,
of content creation, I guess. But
I think books, putting it politely, I'd call it more of like a pamphlet maybe. Yeah.
I mean, every book starts out as a pamphlet until they add more pages, really. So
This is true. There's a saying for the ages.
But I want to know about like the beginnings for you, whether that like with Twitch and then as well as YouTubers, because you've started your content creation on YouTube first. So what made you? So you made that first video, and you said why, because you liked obviously the Yogscast and the playthroughs and the multiplayer aspect of things being something that you would watch beforehand, I'm assuming, and you just copied that style of content. But you've made your first video and you've uploaded it. How long before you thought, do you know what, I actually want to do another episode?
It's a good question. I think it kind of just gathered momentum by itself in a way, because the first stuff that I did with my friend Taylor, we just kind of messed about for about an hour and a half, maybe, possibly even longer, and it was a case of like no one realistically wants to sit down and watch an hour's worth of unedited like Minecraft footage from two people you've never heard of before.
Right.
So it was almost kind of a case of where we spent all this time messing about, and there were so many sort of points where we had fun and there were highlights and things like that. Excuse me. So we just kind of edited it down. And it was like, right, well, there's 15 minutes worth of stuff there. We've got all this stuff left over, but we can turn that into something as well. So without really meaning to, we'd kind of put together 3 episodes worth of stuff. So we put those out there, and then was like, well, we'll just carry on. We'll do more things.
And how was your viewers? How was your views reflected by, like, how many views did you get on your first video before you uploaded your second?
Wouldn't be able to tell. Probably not many. Probably maybe 6, 7, something like that.
And would that be people that you know already, or was that just random people?
Quite possibly. There was I'm sure it was most definitely like just friends of ours, and you know, just anyone else that we could get, really. I'd sent it to various friends that I had at the time. As I said, Taylor was in uni, so he would have just shared it with his whole like student flat, I'm sure. Because like I say, it was very big at the time. Everyone was kind of watching the Shadow of Israel and was watching Minecraft playthroughs.
Yeah, because it was still very, like, well, I said, it was still rather new back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, and certainly the idea of using the game as a let's play and as that kind of format was very new. And especially with what the Yogscast were doing with the Shadow of Israel, no one was doing that. And what they had managed to do within the engine at the time was absolutely groundbreaking. You know, because they had this multiplayer server and they had populated it with NPCs before they had been introduced into the game itself. And they weren't NPCs, they were people there controlling them and acting as it. So they'd already thrown all this money at so many different accounts, and on the chance that it would kind of gather its own momentum, which it did. So it was kind of a product of the time. It was like, this is popular and this is what's going down, so let's do something similar. So to kind of tie it back in, obviously everyone in Taylor's flat was watching that kind of stuff. Everyone that I was at uni with was watching that kind of stuff. So it was nice and easy to kind of distribute it to your friends. What happened beyond that was kind of out of our control. I've just seen how dark it's gotten, and Jay's asking for the light to go on.
No, that's
which
fine,
I can
that's
very
fine.
easily do. So I will do that. I need a clarifier. So I can, so I've got to walk all the way back and do that. No problem is it does throw the white balance off now. Now it looks like I'm inside the top of an AA van, but there we go. Oh no, that is
one...
so unbelievably orange.
Why is this so orange? That's ridiculous.
An energy saving light bulb, I guess. Like it's...
No. Oh
like,
my
you know,
lord.
hopefully it'll kind of get the power and sort of I don't know. This, in fairness, it's a beautiful example. As no need to apologise, Jay. I'm sorry, I've got your chat up on the other monitor, so I'm sort of watching it as well.
No, it's alright.
But this is the whole brand of what Tackproductions was. It was very much kind of like it's just friends who just want to make stuff, and it was. I don't think it was ever going to be like super professional studio lighting and all that sort of stuff.
I mean,
you know,
I can definitely vouch for that, because on my end anyway, because my actual light bar. So let me just show you. So my light bar is currently on, right? This is me turning it off. I've got a light above me, which is actually a camping light. But this
like
light,
propane thing, or like
no,
a lantern, or like...
Oh god, let me.
It's okay. You do that. I can get you my professional light.
Look at that.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Let me where's here it is. So this is like my semi-professional light that I've got now.
Oh, look at that bad boy.
Light that I would use for when I just realised I can't hear anything. So this is what I use for a product that I bought called Aero Drums, which lets you play drums in the air.
Oh yeah, I remember you speaking about this the other day.
Reflective balls and bright lights. So I can just plug this into the front, and it's bright, it does the job, but like there's nowhere good to put it, and also that's like. I mean, it's not even done anything.
Small tip. Is the wall behind your computer monitor white?
Let's go magnolia.
Okay. Aim that at the wall, but on one side.
Let's try this one then. So, there we go.
There you go.
I'm kind of at the mercy of my like orange siren light.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can you attach that to the top of your monitor?
Yeah, I've got blue tack.
Yeah, try that, and then try turning off your main light, and that should illuminate your face with a slightly less yellow tinge.
Here we go. Tech tips.
The best of content to be expected on this channel. Live tips. The best of content to be expected on the channel. Live tech tips. I love this. This is brilliant.
Feels like I'm on the cube or something like that. Like I've been set a challenge that I need to complete in order to progress. Yeah, so if I put that there... Oh, that's not enough blue tack.
Oh, this is pure comedy.
Alright, so that will stay there for, I don't know, maybe like 4 minutes.
Right, let's go. Is it going to work? I think it is going to work. No, it's the magnolia wall.
Now sit back down, and then...
Oh, that's really bright. Maybe try... maybe try aiming it upwards ever so slightly. More? Oh, no.
We'll bear it in mind. Like we'll maybe I can just find somewhere to like. How's that? That's all right. No.
That's better. Yeah.
So never mind attaching it to the top of the monitor with blue tack. Literally just put it on the desk and point it somewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe. That'll do. Right.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that'll do. That'll work. Look a bit more natural now instead of just so yellow. Vogue pose.
That was me talking about Ribena curing all. It also does a great job for jaundice.
Do not
No
put
longer
the Ribena
glowing
on
yellow.
top of the light. Do not put a Ribena on top of the light.
No, there's a lot of electronics here that I don't want to break. It's my main source of joy at the moment.
Oh, brilliant. But
yeah, getting back to wherever we were, not that I remember where that was.
it was your beginning with the first episode to the second episode, and then how you got viewers for that first or second episode, essentially. Like, how was the growth between the first one and the 10th one? That's what I'd like to know.
It was I think it was the same for... It was probably a lot quicker than it is now. Because it's... As it is with most platforms, now you could take anything. You take YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, if you're an artist or anything like that. It's so... Because this is the new booming industry, is online media. It's so difficult to kind of get your foot in the door anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas then it wasn't really so much. It wasn't like it wasn't a job. So people weren't kind of pursuing it as a job. So you could kind of grow a lot easier because it wasn't such a saturated like market
platform.
I guess.
No, I understand, because that is actually one of the things that has actually changed from my day one to my present day. Because in the beginning, if anyone asked me, "Oh, should I get into streaming?" I would immediately go, "Yeah, do it. Try it, see what it's like," sort of thing. But now, my answer's changed, because there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that people don't know about and won't know about until they actually experience it themselves. Like, for example, from the way that my first stream looked to now, it is literally leaps and bounds. The amount of money I've put into this as well. I mean, just the overlays that you see now, they're not free. There is a lot of free options out there, but just like everything in this world, you're not going to be happy with it until you've put some form of monetary value so that you know that it's yours. You've spent that much. To you, it's worth X amount of money, whatever, or X amount of feelings in some people. For example, if someone did a custom bit of art for me, for example, I would be more than happy to use that. And that's another thing that big streamers don't really have to worry about, essentially, because to them, they could possibly cover my whole virtual stream package with a fifth of one of their streams. And that's something... Go on.
I was going to say, it'll also reach a point where you've, as you get to as places, as channels and properties grow, you've got people that are trying to batter the door down to give you stuff. So whereas kind of at this level, you'd be going to people to say, I need someone to design and overlay emotes, picture, banners, whatever. I'm sure it reaches a point where once you've grown big enough, you've got people going, "Oh, I'd love to design this for you. Hey, can I use your brand name, or not your brand name, but can I use like one of your properties, like your in-game avatar or something like that, on this piece of artwork," and that sort of thing. And I think I don't know, it's probably, I get why it's that way around, but it'd probably be more helpful if it was the other way around. Once you're that big, you'd probably get sick of people trying to offer you artwork.
No, but that's the thing, though. Like, to me, if I was well, even now, actually, if someone says, I haven't really got, like, I can't support you in any way, apart from maybe use this. Like, I've made this for you. Here you go. To me, that is worth so much more than someone saying, here's a subscription. Like, both of them have equal worth, but they're of different avenues of worth to me.
Yeah.
One is financial and the other one's obviously emotional, because to think that someone's taken a time out of their day to make something specifically for you. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it still blows my mind to this day.
They're making something for you. Yeah.
It still blows my mind to this day.
Yeah, it's how I've met some people in the communities that I'm part of. Actually, I need to try and track some of these down now, just so I know that I'm talking about the right things. So, like, people made stuff for me. I've had like various bits of, not various bits, but I had like one piece of actual like fan art. Someone's made like a YouTube thumbnail for me for 500 subscribers, and
feel free to send those in chat. I can pop them up on screen.
So it was like, this was let me see. Sorry. I think this should make its way over to you. This was like the first piece of fan art that I ever got. That should be on its way to you.
Yep, got it.
Discord. And like you say, it's kind of, someone takes the time out of their day to actually make that. Oh, I have got the Tomb Raider picture here as well.
Please send it through.
And remember what we were saying beforehand, obviously, that once it's on the internet, it's on the internet forever.
Alright, look at that.
So this picture's following me forever. But yeah, like, someone took the time out of their day to make that for me, which is sensational. I asked for the Tomb Raider picture, and it's fantastic.
Can you see the resemblance? Oh my lord. That is incredibly brilliant.
It's so good. I don't know if I can mimic the picture, or like, what's my face like, the kind of
that is pure gold.
I've got a bit more of a beard now, but like, I mean, obviously pales in comparison to yours, but like, more facial hair than I did in the picture.
It grows over time. I keep telling people that, like, but it doesn't grow anywhere near as fast. Like, I can't help it. It just does.
And what a beautiful segue, because that's exactly how it was for YouTube and how it is for Twitch. It will just grow over time. And initially, it was. I'm very good at those kinds of segues, by the way. Initially, it was quite quick, because you're kind of capitalizing on the stuff that's popular at the time. There was a series that I did once I was making stuff solely on my own for the channel that just kind of exploded. It's still my most popular videos on there. They're on about, like, I think they're 60,000 views, something like that.
Oh my lord!
And it was just a Minecraft custom map that I was playing through. Some guy got in touch with me through the Minecraft forums. He was like, "Hey, I've made this map. Would you like to play it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Played through it. He watched all the way through and was like, "I'm really enjoying seeing you and like play this. I've got a second one. Do you want to play it?" I was like, "Yeah, send it over." And it's probably through most of those videos that I got most of the YouTube subscribers.
So people would send you custom maps. So what, like adventure maps?
Yeah. So the first two I got sent, I think this guy had just made and was like just wanted people to play his maps, basically. But then I did receive one that was in a very similar sort of style to it. It was like, did you ever remember those like Race for the Wall type maps, or like the Complete the Monument type maps? So the first two were like that, And then I have one sent to me that was a very similar style, and he was like, "I've made this for you to play through. Would you mind?" Yeah, sure, I'll play through that. Again, like you say, if someone's taken the time, their own personal time, to do something and make something for you, like, where would I get off in going, nah, I've got better things to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm alright.
So kind of played through it. I seem to remember enjoying it. There were times where it got very stressful, and I was like, oh, "What have you done? This is horrible. I hate this. And getting really angry with it. But it was kind of, that's because that's how it was at the moment. It's not like I hated the person or their map for it. It's like it was doing what it had to do. It was a difficult part that had to be stressful when it was doing its job. So it worked out really well. But I think probably the most kind of heartwarming thing about about kind of that era, if you like, I guess, was the other day, maybe last week before, something like that. The guy who made those first two maps, like, just messaged me out of the message, like my Facebook page, out of the blue, and he was like, "Hi, I stumbled across the videos you made of me playing my custom map, however many years ago it was. I stumbled across them again, and I just wanted to let you know it's been like a joy to re-experience them, and it made me really happy. I hope you're doing well." I was like, "That's incredible."
That's the thing though. Like, for people like that to be able to get back in touch with you, like, just in general, it does seriously make the person feel really good about themselves.
Yeah, and like it's a really affirming thing to get something like that, especially because I think it's fair to say, like, when Taylor and I started the channel, it's like, I don't think we ever anticipated that we would be like 10 million subscribers, the most, like, we'd be internet stars and all that sort of stuff. We started the channel just because we were bored in the summer and just wanted to do some stuff. We were both into, like filmmaking, script writing, and all that sort of stuff at the time. So I was like, let's just spend a bit of time doing that as a hobby. And then it kind of grew. And kind of after that initial boom of subscribers and viewers and stuff like that, the channel growth just plateaued and hasn't done anything since. Like, the YouTube channel has been on probably about 1,000 subs for years, and that's not necessarily a problem, I don't think. Like I say, we didn't set it up to become mega stars or anything like that. We just set it up as something to do, and that's kind of always been the way that I've carried on doing the channel and Twitch and stuff like that. Is I want to do the stuff that I'm enjoying and play the games that I find fun, because that's what's the best. And it means that no one comes and watches your videos.
Yeah, but the people that do watch you, the people that do watch you is the people that are genuinely interested in you. Yeah,
that's exactly it. I could make a Among Us video or a Fall Guys video or something like that. They're super popular. They get tons of views, possibly. That's probably a very flippant way to put it, but I think you understand what I'm getting from. It's easy to make a video about something that's trending and ride off of that, but I would rather make the stuff that I wanted to make. I wouldn't find Fall Guys or Among Us fun, and I guess at that point it probably becomes a job rather than like something you want to do. If you're not enjoying doing it, then that shows.
Yeah,
and I think if that's coming across, then people aren't gonna stick around for very long. I think it's probably instant dopamine, I reckon. Like, it'll make you feel good for the day or two after it was uploaded, and then it'll be like, right, well, that one's died off now, so think of something else.
Just like every single hot trend, it only lasts it lasts whilst it's hot, and we all know. Just like, I think it was Ricky Gervais that said it. Don't quote me 100%, but he said, "Don't aim to be hot, aim to be warm, because even in science, if you're hot, you're going to get cold a lot quicker than you are if you're warm. People stay warm for a lot longer. People don't stay hot all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's something. Oh, we got a nice little follow. Thank you very much for the follow, Michael.
Wahoo!
But
oh, sorry, that was a sound effect. It's owned by Koji Kondo and Nintendo. Sorry, ruined it all.
Oh.
Don't know if this is that kind of channel.
That's where you can find them. Or you can go ! Insta. It's about as close as you're gonna get.
Maybe we're missing a trick. Maybe that's the platform we should be getting on. Should we be doing Twitch streams over on OnlyFans?
Well, they'd be called OnlyFans streams, I guess, but that's a different genre of streams.
I know a guy who's on OnlyFans. He does quite well. He's made a tidy sum over the pandemic. He's done really well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, well, you can't knock it. I'm not
sure what it is he does. I just know that he's on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people knock OnlyFans for what it actually is, but people make a decent living out of it, and it's a valid form of making money in its truest form. Really, they're using the platform to better themselves, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back on track with the subject.
Yeah, there's only so far you can go down the OnlyFans rabbit hole before you need to make a decision. It's like, do we
100%.
If you'll pardon the phrasing, do we pull out or go deeper?
I just can't make my mind up. Oh god. Right. Oh, that has fully thrown my mental thought off. What was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah, that's it. Right. What did you have, hardware-wise, when you first started? Like, me personally, when I first started streaming, the only thing that I had was a single screen and a computer that my friend gave to me.
Right. So... But it still must have been fairly decent, though, because you were still able to pick it up and do the job. I feel like you had a good base to now go, right, well, now I know what I need to build and improve on and get to the machine you've got now.
Yeah, well, you say that, but realistically speaking, like, let's see. So I've then spent a good old £800-900 on a computer that I'm still paying off for, and then I unfortunately made the mistake of buying pre-built, and I've learned. Okay, it's not the correct way. If you want something done, you do it properly. You build by component. You build it yourself, and yeah, it was trash. It was trash. But since that, I've replaced the processor. I've replaced the processor fan. I've replaced the RAM. I've replaced the motherboard. Then I've replaced the case and the fans. So the only thing that's left from the original computer is the graphics card.
I don't know, so one I've got at the moment was pre-built, and the only thing I've done is I bought the webcam and I've put another RAM stick in there. Other than that, it's been an absolute joy so far. He says, touch wood. That's the end. So when I first started making videos, it was basically a toaster. It was not very good at all. And if you were to go back and look at some of so I think the first couple of videos were done on Taylor's computer, and his was really powerful for the time because he was studying visual effects and doing all the cool looking explosions and stuff in films and CGI and that kind of stuff. So he needed something that would work and have the power. So our first few videos we made on his computer, and it was absolutely fine. It was pretty high tech for the time. Whereas what I had at home was an office computer. Basically, it was the family PC. It was like Windows XP, like big chunky monitor. It wasn't designed for anything other than like Microsoft Office, basically, and just kind of did what I could to make it work. You can tell when a video was made on Taylor's PC versus when it was made on mine, because his would run nice and smoothly on the full graphics settings, and mine would have like the render distance on Minecraft turned down low. It was like looking through a fog. Couldn't see a thing.
Loading one chunk at a time.
basically, yeah. Like that was why in the original videos I made, it was literally just custom maps, because at least all I know is I've got to load the area the map is in, and that is it. And generally they don't spread outwards, or the ones I played didn't spread outwards that far. It was the area that you were in, and it went upwards. They were like tall towers and dungeons to go and explore. It very rarely was huge forests and stuff to go and look around. And I just kind of made it work, I guess, or I don't know, compared to like what we can do now, it doesn't work at all. But for the time, for what I had available, I was just kind of making the best of what I had, and just kind of going with that. I couldn't tell you much more about the properties of it. Like the mic I've got at the moment, my desk mic, is the only mic I've ever owned, and it's still does a relatively decent job. It is time for an upgrade because it is really old. But
well, you say that, but with audio things, like regardless of the age, if it works, it works. And just like most things nowadays, when it comes to audio, a lot of people are realizing that some things that are built like 20 years ago are still top-notch quality compared to some of the cheap-ish new stuff.
Yeah. Like, and that's kind of the way that, I mean, it's how I am in pretty much everyday life anyway. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just smacking the desk. Can you hear me? Yeah, mic's doing its job. Doesn't need replacing. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you sound well, so no issue there, I guess.
It's just a very, very complex filter I put on the mic. I'm spluttering and wheezing constantly at the moment.
I mean, I'm still trying to understand how to...
Let me just turn the filter off, one sec. Is that any better? What I actually sound like for everybody? So I turn it back on. I just couldn't. It's feel bad for everyone watching. I had to turn it back on. It sounds, in real life, I sound a bit like a dusty Billy Connolly. It's probably the best way to explain my real voice.
But you know what? Like I've said, your voice is, from what I can tell, natural sounding. Obviously, not knowing what you sound like in real life is a bit of a downplay to that. But then again, I'm no sound engineer. I'm just trying to make it work, I guess. Like, even with my sound setup, like, realistically speaking, Jets has helped me set it up. But I say helped me set it up. He'd basically done it all for me, and then I've just proceeded to annoy him at every step of the way, forcing him. I do believe still to this day, he has his status on Discord as tab support mode off. Which is an achievement I'm moderately proud of, to be honest. But
The
yeah.
thing is, you can't get away from it though, because he's still a mod in your chat. He's always working, the poor boy.
It's staying that way. Oh god. But yeah, that's something that I've learned throughout the my process of uploading content to the World Wide Web, and that is that there's so many changes that you can make that make the world of difference in comparison to, like, for example, what is a absolutely tiny change that you made to the content that you make that has made such a huge difference to the quality of it?
So I think there's two that immediately spring to mind. I think both from when I first started doing it. The first one was the kind of mic that I was using. Because initially I didn't like how the one I've got at the moment sounded. But that was just because I knew nothing about how to correctly set gain levels and mix it down into what creates like a nice and balanced audio profile. So I also had a headset at the time, which again was basically like a call center type headset. It had a mic that came out the side here and one speaker on this side with a little sponge on it, and then that was it. It was a tiny thin plastic frame to go over the top. It was, like I say, just like out of a call center, but the audio sounded a lot better through that because it was a focused mic and it was right there, so I could just speak very naturally and it sounded better to my ears. The problem was when stuff made me jump or I got angry and shouted because the mic's right there, it just popped and was horrible to use.
It would clip, yeah.
Whereas the Snowball, which is what I've got at the moment, was a much better quality mic, but because I knew nothing about how to use that extra power and quality, I couldn't get it to sound good, especially at the time as well, because the computer was in the kitchen, so it was a echoey room and it just didn't create what I thought was a good auditory experience.
I can fully relate to that because my first microphone was this bad boy right here.
Look at it.
It's a
supermarket PA, isn't it?
It's a literal £5 microphone from the local supermarket.
Good afternoon, customers. This is an announcement. Could everybody please head to the biscuit aisle where there is a sale on Jammy Dodgers. Other jam-filled biscuits are available. Boom, 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 boom.
That's the thing, though. Like, it is genuinely ridiculous, the quality between mics. I mean, even that was my second microphone, which is currently on my headset. Like, let me see if I can patch through. Okay, let me mute this one.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is my other microphone.
It's like you're coming at me through a walkie-talkie.
It genuinely sounds so bad. But this was the second one I used. And then going from this to
this, it makes a massive difference.
Oh, that's nice and sultry.
Like,
it's got bass in it. It picks up the bass. That's the key difference between both of those.
Exactly. Like, if I get closer to it, I'm like, ooh. Oh, I was about to sing a song. I can't sing it. God damn it. Sorry?
I think that's what it is obviously like cheaper mics. Like it was perfectly good for the time, but it hasn't got the range and the ability that a more professional one does. The difference between the mic you are using that captures the bass in your voice versus the other one that is literally just picking up audio that exists.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably, as I was saying about, that was one of the changes at the time that I think was, it wasn't the wrong decision, but it was a decision made too early, I think. Because like I said, I bought this much better mic, but I had no idea how to use it. It's like I can drive, but I wouldn't know the first thing about being able to pilot a forklift truck.
Yeah, no, I can relate. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to search for something.
Being given like the keys to the kingdom before you're ready to rule it. So I think the mic was definitely one thing, and the other thing back then as well was what I was using to actually screen capture and edit with. At the time, I was using. So when I started, I used a program called Camtasia because it was all in one. It was a screen recorder and it was also a video editing suite. And I went with that purely because one of the other Let's Players I was watching at the time said that that's what he was using. I was like, well, I don't know any better. If it's good enough for this guy, it's good enough for me. So I got it, and the screen capture of it was not bad, but the editing wasn't so good. Like, you couldn't just do a simple like crossfade transition,
right?
Without both pieces of video pausing. So if you want to fade from one video into the other, now you can kind of keep that video playing as it fades over, and it looks nice as you change from the scene to scene. But in Camtasia, the video would play, and then it would get to the point where the crossfade would start. That video would pause, and then it would kind of fade into this video, and then it would start playing, and things like that. And it would just look really janky and weird. So I moved on to a screen capture software called Bandicam, just because I was led to believe that it was a lot less intense on like processing power and that sort of thing, which I thought would be a lot more helpful in trying to just improve the visual look of the videos.
Right.
And editing, I went to Windows Movie Maker at the time, and it was infinitely better than, the crossfade was fine. It was easier to kind of speed up and slow down footage and all that kind of stuff. Like, had to replay something, you just speed it up and it's fine. So kind of swapping those two out when I was first starting out, I think had the biggest impact on the stuff that I was making. I think nowadays everything's become so much more powerful that it almost feels like you kind of have to try to make things awful. Again, there's got to be some truth in it. As you look at those kinds of memes where it's got the hideously clipped bass and that kind of thing, all the flashing lights, Doritos memes and all that kind of stuff.
Hello, my name's Sav. It seems like you haven't met me.
No, you don't. So like, I've lost my train of thought. But like,
I know what you're trying to say.
So, like, mics are so good now, computers are so good now. Like, you got OBS, for instance, is the all-in-one package for streaming, recording. Like, it offers so many options within that were completely unavailable in those softwares at the time.
Yeah.
And so for nowadays, for me, again, it comes down to audio. Was in OBS setting the activation threshold for the mic, which was kind of, yeah, exactly, the gate, which factors into what I was saying about being able to figure out the gain and stuff on the mic. Is that now being able to block out all the background noise. You can't hear my computer fan, I hope. You can't hear the rain outside unless it's hammering it against the window. And it is literally just my voice. And it is such a small change and so easy to implement that I think it's made things infinitely better.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even with me, and the same thing. The same thing, like with the gate and all the actual editing of the sound of the microphone. Like, originally I had no idea. Like, Jet showed me his program and I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, look, let me show you. So he had something similar to this, right? Now you see every single one of those and I was like, oh my god, I cannot figure that out. No, I give up. Right. And in the end, what I actually ended up doing is that so you redeemed a hydrate. Thank you.
Yeah. It's important.
But what I someone recommended me RTX Voice, which is a NVIDIA program that uses RTX cards and AI learning to block out background noises, so like key presses, fans. And it worked perfectly for me until I started noticing certain things that it just couldn't do. Like if I got too excited and I started laughing a bit too much, the noises that would exit my mouth were not normal as it would deem. So it would clip my laugh. It would just sound really strange. And yeah, recently I made the change over to this more advanced bit of software where it can monitor the background noise. It can take a recording of the baseline sound. Like if I'm just sitting in a room and I'm just breathing, and then I have the ability to record that sound, and then it will not play that sound.
Yeah.
And that in itself blew my mind. Like, it doesn't take a lot really, but
insane.
Yeah, even with that, like one small change has made an absolute world of a difference. Because now if I wanted to laugh, it would not be clipped.
Yeah. It's definitely come on like so far from where it used to be. Like I don't think, I'm fairly sure there's probably been several points that the time when I've been doing this that I'd have gone, there's no real point anymore, because I certainly couldn't afford to like beef up the family computer in any way. I couldn't afford to get my own. I didn't have the space. So I was like, you know what, let's just knock it on the head, because everything's moving so far away now from the kind of stuff I was making. But now it's kind of, this is probably the main reason why, as we were saying earlier, about this becoming a more viable way of earning a living, is that it's a lot more accessible and a lot easier to kind of, whilst it's a lot harder to get it to a point where you can do it as a job, it's a lot easier to get your feet onto the first few rungs of the ladder, because those first few obstacles are getting yourself the machine to do it, the hardware and the software, getting everything working together, and then getting yourself to work for what you're trying to represent.
Exactly.
And I think that's a lot easier to do now. So you can get those first couple of steps out of the way easier, and then it's the much harder job of being able to get yourself out there and expand your community, if you like, and hang out and grow with like-minded people. I think it's probably what I'm trying to say. I can definitely agree with that, because like you said, this is now becoming a more viable way of growing. I think that would be the best word to use that would cover everything really. But going on from that, before we do, I've realised that I've gone orange again. What do I do now? I'm gonna try the main light again.
Okay, go.
And we'll see what to do, because other than that, I have no choice. I can't even. When I was doing my Layers of Fear stream, I was lighting myself with a candle for atmosphere, but now the candle won't even light because I can't get my hand inside the top to light.
Right, is it a quick little life tip, right? If you can't reach the wick, not even joking, get a single strand of spaghetti, dry spaghetti, light the end, you can use it as a match.
I haven't got any spaghetti, I ate it all the other day. I've got rice and I've got penne. Do you reckon I could just fill the candle with rice and like it'll burn its way down? Yeah, it is white balance, but I don't know if I can change that through Discord. So that's
no, that one. There we go. I pressed the wrong buttons. It's fine. You're good.
Okay. All right. Let me try the orange light again. Maybe now it's dark, it'll actually kind of.
He needs to get an LED bulb. Can I set white
No, it's still going to be orange. All right. Well, there we go. You either got to look at me in orange or not at all, I'm afraid.
Jets is saying go into the camera settings, set the white balance, and then disable the auto.
Into camera settings. Where is that? Oh no.
Oh, just to mention that we are currently using Discord for this video chat. Camera settings from the control panel.
Oh no, I closed it. That's okay, it still seems to be working. I clicked the wrong X button. Honestly, I have been doing this for like 11 to 12 years. I do know what I'm doing.
Oh god, that's the. I am the same, honestly, but I've been doing it for a lot shorter. And when someone comes in with the simplest fix, I go, "Yeah, I mean, I knew that. Yeah."
See how bad it is? I'm having to search for control panel because I don't know how to get to it normally.
What you need to get is get rid of that energy saving light bulb and get yourself an LED light bulb, okay? Because I will say that my light bulb is an LED light bulb and it is hella bright.
I can't find anything. Where's... Is that?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, this is where I just was.
Reopen map blends. Oh my god. I remember map blends. Map blends used to be so good.
I can't find this.
It's fine.
The only camera settings I can change are the privacy settings, and it feels a bit unusual to change those settings whilst using the camera. So,
what camera is it?
I don't know. I just bought it off Amazon.
Oh, it's just a random brand.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It might say it on the back, but okay, you can look at the. Oh, it doesn't say it on the back. There you go. Yeah, I'm all for lifting the veil on things and all that kind of stuff. Unconventional, I think, is probably the way to describe what I've built this channel to. I don't know many other streamers who get distracted halfway through the stream and start wandering around the internet and trying to find articles and stuff. We went on a trip the other day to BuzzFeed to do some research on the Mandela effect.
Really? I was actually thinking about that the other day. Like, honestly.
I can't remember how we got onto it, but we were discussing it, and so I had to take a trip onto the internet to do some research. So I'm all for unconventional ways, and if that means having to, you trying to change your light to be orange now as well?
No, I've changed mine to be pink, so it's not yellow throughout.
I'll have to spend some time trying to figure that out because I can't find the camera settings.
I have no idea.
I'm looking for control panel in the start menu. I don't ever really scroll down anywhere, so it's. Never
it's
mind.
Fine.
Never mind.
We'll work with it. It's fine.
You ain't got the choice. Work with it or switch me off.
And that concludes today's meeting.
I think I invited that one.
But in a spirit of technical issues and taking a break, I will, however, just have a quick little 10-minute breather where both me and Nick can go and stretch our legs, change our light bulbs, and catch our breath. So stay tuned, people. We'll be back in roughly 10 minutes. We'll be right back. And we are back.
We are both back.
We are both back. Yes.
Beautiful. We are both back.
We are both back. Yeah. So I've had a nice little stretch on my legs. I was just saying to to Nick earlier that I have the freedom of having a wireless headset, so I can freely move around my room as I'd like, whereas he's tethered to the desk.
I am tethered to the desk. It's unfortunate, but the plus side of it, I mean, not in this instance, but the plus side of it is if I'm walking around with my iPod, earbuds don't stay in my ears very well, so at least I haven't lost a pair of earbuds to the ground. Fall out of my ears, the wire saves them. I've gone through so many pairs of like earbuds because I'll have trodden on them had it not been for the wires. So do not dismiss the power.
The power of the lead.
Yeah. The power of the cable is almost a pun. Cable. Yeah. It's fine. We can workshop it. We'll workshop it. It's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. Right. Something else that I wanted to ask. Yeah. What has been a large change, a massive change that you've made to your content creation, to your streaming, to whatever that you've done, that you've made the change, and then immediately after making that change, you've realised that this has made no difference whatsoever?
I think for me, it's probably a schedule. I guess to be a bit more specific on that, it was basically having a relentless schedule. So if it was basically a case of, well, the more videos I'm making, the more streams I'm doing, the more exposure that I'm getting, the more view time I'm getting, purely by virtue of the fact that even if I'm not playing or doing anything anyone's interested in, people are still going to poke their head through the door, and it'll add another number to the view count. It will increase the watch time or whatever.
Strength in quantity.
Yeah. But that's also a very detrimental way to work.
Yeah.
And
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. I have as well. There's been several times for YouTube, and certainly where it was kind of like I had sort of 3 different series going on at a time and uploading four videos a week. So it was like 3 different gaming series a week, as well as a vlog. And then I was also had, I think it was like 2 or 3 real life jobs as well at the same time. So it was like, and obviously completely burnt out.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like, well, if all the circles line up, at the time I was working as a technician in a theatre at uni. I was teaching drama to kids on Saturdays, and I was doing 3 or 4 shifts a week in a bar. So my hours were all over the place across 3 jobs. And then whilst also trying to fit in recording the videos for an hour, each video being about 20 minutes long. So you got 3 20-minute videos, and then also finding time between all that to just vlog in my daily life about what's going on. And that's when the vlog started to take a hit as well, was because it's like every day was literally like, I'm really tired today, let's see what I do. Turns out I did nothing today, let's see what tomorrow brings, like all that sort of stuff. And it made for rubbish videos because everything was spread too thinly. And
yeah,
kind of we were saying earlier about the investment that has to go into this kind of work, that as a viewer you don't initially think of.
Understand.
So
yeah.
For me to put a 20-minute video on YouTube, depending on the game. So for instance, if we take Tomb Raider for instance, a 20-minute video on YouTube will be maybe about half an hour's worth of recording. You know, you're playing the game for 20 minutes, you die at one point, so you have to replay 10 minutes of it. So you got half an hour's worth of footage. You then need to spend at least that half an hour afterwards watching it through again to edit it and make sure it's okay. You've then got to render it out to get it to a point where it's ready for YouTube. And back at the start, when I first started making videos, I had a computer that couldn't really make videos, never mind be able to record a video whilst rendering one in the background. I can do that easily now, and it's an absolute godsend when it comes to it, because it's doubled the efficiency.
Yeah,
But
essentially, yeah.
at the time, it was a case of 30 minutes to record, and then, you know, maybe about an hour to edit, and then 3 hours to render, and then you've got the upload time as well. So for a 20-minute YouTube video, you've already spent maybe like 6 additional hours possibly on it, or I had anyway, spent an additional 5 to 6 hours for that 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If it was something like Minecraft, where it's a little bit more kind of, here's our plan for today, and then you check back in 10-20 minutes later after that work, that's even longer. You can spend days making just making 20 minutes. People, like some of the big YouTubers do, they spend their entire week making their 20-minute episode. So there is a whole heap of work, and I was and probably still am very bad at being able to balance all of that.
I can definitely relate to that myself, because like getting to this point, like setting up so my whole stream look has changed from the last time, because I had my birthday week-long stream, and I did a couple of streams afterwards, and then I took a break from it so I can change everything. And just changing, just for example, this page alone, I had to download Photoshop, right? Just so I can make that chat box be twice as wide. I'm not joking. It's something as simple as that took me about an hour just to work out, get my brain around how to actually do it. Like the little kitty that you could see in the corner, like finding that from another streamer. It's entertaining, but just the work that goes behind it is just monumental, and it does compound with the result that you wish to get. So if you want to be specific and you want to make it look like something specific, you can double, triple, quadruple the time that it takes for you to get it to that point extremely easily. And in regards to quantity of content versus quality of content, the point of where I learned that it's more about the quality rather than the quantity is my birthday week of streaming. Because on the first day I did a 16-hour stream.
Yeah, it's an astonishing effort.
Yeah, I mean,
but I can imagine that it does set you on the back foot a little bit for everything that comes after it.
It did. That's the thing. It just knocked the wind out of me, and it just made such a huge difference, because for the rest of the week I was just on a downslope of energy levels, and you could see it in the videos, because you could see how tired I was every day. It was just like, hello guys, it's a new day, let's play some Minecraft. And that was literally it. Whereas now I'm allowing myself more time between episodes and between each stream, so that I can actually recoup, think about what I'm going to do, and actually bring some worthwhile content. And that's something that a lot of new streamers and new content creators won't know about until they get into that situation, which is another reason why I wanted to create this, because I watch a lot of big streamers and big YouTubers that say this is how you can get to where I am, and they say you have to put in a lot of work, you have to put in a lot of time, you have to, set yourself some goals, and you have to. That is good advice 90% of the time, but it's the 10% that's at the beginning that nobody tells you about that got to me, because I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I want to put in a time, but what do I do?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes that they never covered, that have been small things that I could have known if someone that's already been doing it that's small could have told me. Like, I didn't spend £100 odd on lighting. I literally, my light bar, I'll show you in a minute, but my light bar is literally a square pipe, right, about a metre and a bit long, that I'd cut in half, right, like along the length of it, and then I stuck those LED strips on the inside of it, and then the light was too bright, so I was like, oh, I need a diffuser. And I looked online for diffusers, and I was like, these are all really expensive, and I didn't have the money for it. So I went to the next best thing for a budget streamer, and I used toilet paper. And to this day, it is still perfect. I mean, look, let me show you. Let me move the mic out of the way.
I think that's exactly it. Is you just have to, you just make adjustments.
Okay.
Like,
Can't really see it.
Oh. No, I get what you mean though. Like, obviously, like it's not designed to have the camera pointed right at it.
Yeah,
but
no,
I've find your own sort of workarounds, and I mean, I think that's the thing, is that I do in a lot of the advice videos that I've watched, or when people have been given advice, they've never said, or they don't often say, you need to go out and you need to spend £2,500 on getting all the best gear. Normally they'll just kind of, like you say though, I don't think they paint the whole picture. And I think it kind of ties into what Jets has said about it not being as oversaturated then as it is now, is that you can, and it's probably actually, it's very demoralizing to say and to hear, and I think this is why the big YouTubers don't say it, and I also think it's probably for a little bit of vanity on their point as well, is that it's largely to do with luck. You can put in all the time you want and make everything as good as you want it, as good as you can. It could be the best thing in the world, but it's an entire dice roll as to whether or not it then begins to take off.
That's literally it. There's one thing that I did hear a massive streamer say that actually I was like, do you know what, I actually genuinely can't argue with that, is that they said that the most people nowadays that are big streamers didn't get there in a day. They got there in 10 years. And I'm like, that is probably the most accurate thing that a small streamer should hear. Full well knowing it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah. And that's exactly the way that it has always been. It's just a lot more prevalent now, because there are a lot more people trying to do it. And I don't think that people who have already made it are necessarily willing to acknowledge the fact that it's to do with luck, because then it takes some of the achievement away. I think if I can't think of a metaphor for it, but if you're trying to make a big impact, but you just need to be in the right place at the right time. And
literally is. And just like with life, it's all about knowing people and knowing it. Having connections with people is what is gonna kickstart everything. Because if you do not have your end goal set up directly from day one, if you don't have the exact content you're gonna make, the exact style, that if you don't have everything worked out yet, you're not gonna be up there with all of them. You're not. it's going to be a very slow process of trial and error, and that leads me on to my next question, which was who have you worked with or done a collaboration with or just interacted with in this realm of content creation that you've genuinely thought, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you?
Ooh.
It's a big question. It's a big question.
And honestly, there was a part of me that thought you were going to say, who have you worked with who, in your opinion, you just think is a complete and utter moron?
That's the next question.
Okay, sorry, I won't jump the gun. It's like, we'll be on that one for a long time. This one shouldn't take too long. I'm kidding. So I think probably some of the biggest impact. So I think Taylor's got to get an honourable mention just because without him we wouldn't have started Tackproductions in the first place.
Yep.
And I doubt that I would have picked this up as something to do by myself. I think it was because we'd already kind of put a foot through the door, and then it was handed to me. I was then kind of like, okay, well, now this is mine. Let's see what I can do with this. I don't know if I would have started pursuing it myself. So there's certainly that. I think there was a vlogger that I met. He was I say was like he's died or whatever, but he's still going. As far as I know, he stopped making vlogs, but has since returned to it. I can't for the life of me remember what YouTube handle we might be using now. When I first subscribed to him, he was uploading videos to a channel called SMP Films, and then he created a vlogging specific channel called Dude Like Hella, and it was like this loud Californian American, because that's where California is, fella. Typical loud Californian guy who was just going out there vlogging. It was his job. He was being paid to do it. He was just going out, he was vlogging, he was just having a fantastic time. He just seemed to be enjoying his life. And whilst it wasn't necessarily his videos that kind of inspired me, I had the opportunity to meet him once. Him and his girlfriend at the time, they were just kind of visiting place and stuff, and they did a meetup in Trafalgar Square.
Okay.
And I went along to that, and there was like 400 people there or something like that. Back in the days when you could gather 400 people in one place. And
yeah, obviously.
Like there was loads of people there, but I never really got to interact with him beyond he signed the toe cap of one of my Converse shoes that I was wearing on that day. Because I had nothing else there. I didn't anticipate that there would be an option to interact with him in any way, because I was like, well, he's a reasonably well-known YouTuber, and he's just announced, like, right, I'm going to be in Trafalgar Square. If anyone wants to come down, come and say hello. So it's like, so there's going to be people there. I'm not even going to get a chance to get near him. And then all of a sudden he was like, hey, I'll thanks for coming down today, everybody. I'll hang around as long as there's people here. Sign stuff if people want me to sign stuff and all that kind of thing. And so eventually I kind of made my way through the crowd as everyone else had. I found myself stood next to him. He was like, oh, hey, how you doing? I was like, yeah, good. Would you sign my shoe? Yeah. I don't have anything else, and that, like it's white. It will show up. Otherwise, it's going to get washed off or something. There you go. There's my shoe. And he did. He just scribbled on my toe cap. But
So what was it about him that changed your outlook on things, or changed you, or changed your content?
So in that moment, it was I think it was to do with like, that's the kind of, at that time it's like, that's the kind of YouTuber that I would want to be, and now I guess the kind of content creator I want to be, where should I ever make it to a point where I can throw a tweet out to fans and followers and go, hey, I'm going to be in this place, if you want to come down and hang out, then let's do it. And then I've got people there, and the thing about that day was that it felt like a very real experience. It felt like the person that I was there and had gone to see was the person that I had seen on the videos. It wasn't the fact of his video personality, and now he's here in front of us.
Was it a character?
Yeah. And that's when, for me, that was like, that's the sort of person I would want to be. I want to come across online as the person that I am in real life. Because as we've said countless times, like, it's people come to these videos, streams and stuff like that for the people that are there. And so for me to be putting on a character, unless that's the specific design, is a bit disingenuous.
No, it does make sense. So essentially you're saying, like, to boil it down, is you want to be the type of content creator that doesn't have to be a character, but they can be themselves both on and off the camera.
Yeah. And I think that was something that he kind of, even if he didn't necessarily know it on the day, because he'd been chatting and hanging out with so many people that day, is what he kind of, or I like to think he kind of imparted onto me, was that
it's better to be true.
It's important to be you, without wanting to get kind of too philosophical about it all. It's like, there's only one you, so
why fake it? Yeah.
As well as, yeah, there's only one you, why be someone else, or something like that. And so that's what I took away from that day. And I think, sure, he's also the only like YouTuber like that's reasonably well known and was reasonably big that I've ever met. And so it had an impact, I would say.
Okay. And now the second question is, who have you worked with or made content with that you within, like, I don't know, let's just say an hour or at the end of your creation, have just thought to yourself, my lord, this has been so painful. Why? Never again.
I've had a great afternoon, Tav. It's been wonderful, but I've got to go now. No, absolutely not. I don't feel like I've.
Obviously,
feel like
you don't name drop.
No.
Unless you want to.
No. I don't think I've done collabs that have gone badly or created any kind of real negativity. I've been lucky on the internet that I've not had much abuse or horribleness come my way. I've had trolls.
Famous last words.
Well, yeah, exactly. Trolls are great fun. I liked reading through the trolly YouTube comments I used to get and seeing my snarky replies back at them. They were brilliant. I always chuckle to myself whenever I get like one of the follower bots spamming in my Twitch chat. I'm like, I feel like that's one of the signs that you're doing well, is that people are kind of spamming those things. Want to get big and famous? Go to buymorefollowers.com.
Oh my god, yes, literally. I think the most I've had in one stream The most I've had in one stream is literally 17. That was
Good
incredible.
God.
It was incredible. I was like, at the time, I didn't even have 17 followers watching me. So it was incredible just to see the fact that there's people coming in posting that kind of crap.
They're like the modern day equivalent of the pass this message on within 13 seconds, or 6 of your loved ones will be hit by a semi truck. Something like that.
Yeah, no, literally.
But like, I don't think I've ever had anything that's kind of gone sour. I think there was a collab that I did once. I think it's still on YouTube. Between me and it was just a couple of other Minecraft players. We'd never met before. I don't think we'd really spoken before. We just I think we met through just like a network that I was part of at the time, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do a multiplayer survival series?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? We'll do that." So we all just kind of did this small. There's only 3 of us. We did this small sort of survival series. And whilst everything went well and they weren't necessarily bad videos and the people involved weren't bad people, so I think they're still making videos and stuff. I've not really checked in on them for ages. It just didn't vibe properly, I guess, is the way to put it.
But so you've been quite lucky there, I guess.
Yeah, like it wasn't like we didn't get on. I seem to remember that we spent however long we were playing, actually, like hanging out, having a good time, and making jokes and stuff. But it was, it didn't really seem to flow all that well.
It was more of a forced thing rather than just a natural feeling to it.
Yeah, I guess so. And then that ties into what I just said about trying to be a legitimate version of yourself.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that, because there has been times where, like in the beginning, it's really strange because when I had like some of the first streams that I did, I was acting up myself until there was a lot of people that came in and started watching, and then at the time for me, a lot of people was like 5, right?
Yeah.
So I had 5 viewers, and I don't know, but for some reason I feel like I needed to please them, and I immediately put on the what I thought was why they're here, kind of persona. And it's only actually recently that I've noticed that, because I've rewatched a few of my videos, and I've seen when I've got like raided, or when I've got just a influx of people. And I've really kind of sat back and looked at myself, and I thought, you know what? Why did I just do that? I don't understand. Who do I think I am? Like, I just had a go at myself.
Raids are big culprits for that, I think, because like you say, all of a sudden you get a whole dump of people, and obviously the person they've just come from has said, all right, we're going to go raid this person, give them a lot of love, and then you see a load of names that just appear. You've never seen these names before in your life. Yeah. And I guess the way to look at it would probably be like, if you arrive at a party and there's a couple of people you know, but the amount of people there you don't know, all of a sudden you're in front of these people and it's like opportunities to make new friends. What does this person like? I'll try and do that. And what's this person? And I think that's quite hard to not do.
Yeah, I think it's more a case of, instead of, to use your scenario, if you've just arrived at a party and there's a room full of people you've never met in your life, instead of trying to actively go to each and every single one of them and say, what do you like? Who are you? What's your story? Because you're never going to get to everyone by the end of the party and still have a good time. I think it's got more to do with be you, and then if the people that are there like who you are, you can tell, because they would gravitate towards you. It's a natural thing. Like, if I try and be a sporty person, or if I try and make this channel look like this is like I do sport on here, like let's say I start doing working out on a stream or whatever, people would come here for that. But that's not who I am. I'm doing something that they would enjoy. But if I'm just playing Minecraft, or if I'm just playing whatever, people that like Minecraft are going to come here and watch. And then if they like me more than Minecraft, they're going to come to more of my streams. If they don't like me and they like the game that I play, they're going to come here for the game. But realistically speaking, the people that are here, that are hardcore followers, don't follow because of the game that I play. They follow it because of me. And that is something that I still need to fully understand as to why on earth do you tune in to see me? I'm just me. I'm just. There's so many people better than me. That is something that I still don't understand.
There's always going to be the way. I think it's like there's always people who are better than you, not specifically you.
No.
Like
Yeah.
there are always people who are better than you, but there is no one. Again, I'm gonna take it to a level, and this is gonna sound so profound. You ready for this, right? There are people there are people who are better than you, but there is no one who is a better you. No, but like,
yeah, you can't argue with that. There's always going to be a streamer who is better than you. There's going to be a better YouTube creator than you. There's going to be a better footballer. There's going to be better everything. But you're gonna be the best version of you. No one else can be a better you other than you. So as long as you're playing at the top of your personal game, it don't really matter, surely. No, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that, and I feel like that is something that I personally need to work on, which actually leads me on to the next part of what I wanted to ask you is, name me one thing that you need to work on in your content. One small improvement, or just one improvement, doesn't have to be small. Do you know what? Let's make it a bit easier, because being self-critical is not always a skill that people have. But
I can criticize.
I know everyone can criticize, but criticizing yourself fairly is not something that is a skill that a lot of people have, whether they like to admit it or not. But let's make this a little bit easier. Now, no holds barred, but name me something that I could improve on with my content that you've noticed. Constructive criticism. Like, what would you like to see that I've done or that I haven't done? Or maybe something that I've done that you've been like, oh, just shut up. Jets, this is in the chat. Do you really want to know? Yeah, let's go.
It's tough to do. I don't know. I can do one for me.
Okay, no, if you want to do one for yourself, you can do one for yourself. Yeah, go on.
I think it's tough to do others. I think it, or maybe I'm finding it tough to do others because I feel like we're relatively similar sizes, and I don't think necessarily my opinion on how to improve, not that I can come up with one in the first place, but I'm not sure I'm in the, it's almost like I'm not in the position to be able to do so.
No, but that's the thing. I'm openly saying, criticize me. Be as brutal as you'd like. Be as minimal as you would like.
My in the hope of trying to maybe conjure up some inspiration, I think for me personally, I'm not an interactor. with people too much on stream unless they're starting, which is how I'm anyway. In real life. I'm not much of a conversation starter. I happily continue it onwards, but I can't be the one to start. And I don't know why. I'm just not very good at asking the first question, basically. But then once things start moving, and keep things going for ages. And so for me, that's what I would want to do more in my streams, is just have more not more interaction. That's probably not the way I want to put it.
More
but
icebreakers, conversation starters.
Yeah. And like for it to be natural as well, rather than just kind of playing the game. It's like, oh, there's been a bit of a lull. Panic. Oh, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? And then everyone goes strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, mint chocolate chip. Oh, the Ben and Jerry's one. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Back to the game.
5-10 minutes more of game, and then you're like, oh, there's been no more chat for a while. What's your favorite planet? And like, all those kinds of things, and it's just not very seamless. For me, what I would want to do is, kind of have something like that just prompts a bit more discussion, is probably the way to put it.
Conversational starters.
Yeah, so maybe thinking, rather than saying, oh, what's your favorite planet? It's like, if you could name a planet, what would you call it? And like, how strong would the gravity be? What would the resonance on it look like? I don't know. trying to do that sort of thing, but make it a bit more of a natural kind of progression.
Yeah, I think that
having a buzz question and then it drying up instantly. And that's what I'm quite bad at.
I do feel like the best thing you could possibly use in that sense would be really opinionated subjects. So if I wanted to get people arguing, for example, people talking about things and people having opinions, is I would say something along the lines of AMD's better than Intel, hands down, throughout time. Guarantee there's some people that are going to be triggered in chat. Or if I'd say something along the lines of I don't know, the Avengers film. Look, see, exactly, right there. That's the thing. Like, you pick controversial subjects, and you first of all, you gain your own opinion on it, and then you gain a couple of facts, and then slap it in there, and then boom. Or even ask people for advice. That is one thing I feel like is the best thing you can do as well. That I've found anyway. Where I'm like, I don't know what kind of like case I want to get for my computer. Instantly, people are like, why don't you get this one because it's bigger? I'm like, I don't want it to be too big. And it's like, why don't you get this one? You can fit more fans. I'm like, I don't want that many, but I want quite a few. Like that healthy debates, yeah, literally. So what I would say, continuation to that as a solution, would be post-it note with conversational starters that you've pre-written, and then just stick to the bottom of your screen. Not a bad idea. And I see you now reach the bottom of your screen and pull the post-it away for the next question. But no, it's absolutely a fair point. I want to quickly go back to what you were saying about controversial topics, because I keep my things as I try to keep my streams as family friendly as possible, ignoring like the vampire sucking blood out of areas that you shouldn't be. Like, in terms of my commentary and delivery and all that sort of stuff, I don't swear and all that kind of stuff. Everything I've put on the internet, I'm like, my parents may watch this one day, and I don't want them to be upset. Yeah. And so the thing is trying to
I think it's certainly on the internet, trying to facilitate a healthy debate that can still appease your parents. Not appease your parents, but do you know what I mean? Like whilst I'm happy to kind of discuss not adult topics, but like serious
mature content, mature topics, like for example the inflation of car insurance prices.
Yep, sure. Why not? I think the maybe not that much. I don't want to lose everybody.
but
I think it's certainly on the internet. It's tough to facilitate those kinds of debates without
inviting some not so family friendly comments.
Yeah. And the thing, so when that stuff comes in, whilst pretty much everyone is presumably an adult and can deal with it, you've then got the case of, well, how does that then sour things for the audience that are currently watching? It's certainly in some cases it only takes one bad apple to send everyone, even if it doesn't affect your chat. If you've got someone there who's said something provocative that then gets under your skin, it's then tough to come back from, I reckon. I was watching a stream earlier today, in fact, and he was playing a game, and he was like he lost and then had to start his run all over again, and he was in a very salty mood for it. And then sort of 3 or 4 minutes later, after the guy had died, someone in his chat had said something like, I'm gonna go and watch someone who doesn't call their chat idiots or something like that. And the stream went, oh well, fine, get out of here, I don't need you, and swore at him and all that kind of stuff. And whilst I think probably, like, I think the guy in chat wasn't necessarily in the right, I think that trying to, like I say, kind of take that on the chin and carry on is tough to do.
I can relate. I can relate. I've had people that have been moderately toxic, and I fortunately through the unfortunate childhood that I have had, I've learnt to laugh it off, essentially. And I feel like that is a personal skill that is quite possibly one of the hardest ones to have, in my opinion, because being able to take pure outright, well, there's no other way of putting it, abuse, and then be able to shrug it off is up there in quality of skills.
Yeah.
Especially not reacting to it negatively as well.
It is a tough one, and it is also more or less an occupational hazard, basically.
Oh, the internet. Yeah. Hell yeah.
The internet is anonymous, so it doesn't matter. You can say and do anything, it can't really be brought back to you. And even then, it's the internet. It's unregulated. So
yeah, people will find a way. People will always find a way. But
how that relates to something that you could improve, though, I don't know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Some people can't think of anything anyway, but you must just think I'm absolutely perfect.
To make you do press ups or something. That's what's missing. Channel points for press ups.
No. To be honest, yeah, no, you are actually right, because that is something that people have actually loved doing back in the day. Because apparently, watching me suffer is something that people enjoy doing. So I mean, I guess, yeah, no, you're right. I took them off because I actually I fell over on my bottom of my stairs, but I don't have railing on both sides of my stairs. One's a wall and has got a rail there, but the other side hasn't. And at the bottom of the stairs, there is just block of wood, and I fell with my ribs on that block of wood from a height, and then I was very hurt. And that's why I was like, I don't really want to be doing press-ups.
Fair enough.
But
the thing is, I guess it kind of moves into the earlier questions about small changes for big impacts and stuff like that. Is that, I don't know, or maybe make it a bit reward or something like that. That way it's not too much suffering. At least there's recompense. But I think it's if it's something that people enjoy. Again, as we said, people have their reasons for coming to people's streams and stuff. And whilst I'm sure you have a delightful community who absolutely in no way wants to see you suffer every single stream, and I highly doubt that any of them came along specifically to make you do press-ups relentlessly throughout the whole thing. Like, it was a good bit of interaction that people had. So maybe that, even though I said it as a joke, maybe if that is something that people were kind of coming for, not that they were coming to necessarily abuse, some of them may have been, but like it was like,
you say that
I've only got like another 200 channel points to earn before I can make him do 10 sit-ups. I'll go along, I'll earn those, job done, and all that sort of thing. Not much.
Yeah, the thing is though,
can I make you do some now?
No, you can't. It's not on. It's not on at the moment. I have got one on there that is particularly rewarding, however extremely hard to get. That again, it's a one-time reward, but it's fully end of stream, and they would need 888,888 channel points for me to do that.
How is that rewarding?
It's rewarding. Hey, if they've been in chat for long enough to gain that many channel points, it's hats off to them. They can choose to end my stream if they wish to do so.
Is there a way? There's got to be a way to set it up so that, like, literally as soon as the thing's redeemed, it literally just stops the OBS recording. You haven't got to do a thing.
I wonder if it actually is.
And if it just like leaves you like still talking there for another like 10 minutes
before I realise what's going on.
What was we saying beforehand about talking to yourself alone in a room?
Quite literally, yeah. But yeah, no, that is something that I need to bring back, and I'm actually was moving my room around a little bit to try and make some space so that I can actually facilitate for that. So yeah, that is something I'm definitely going to be working on and hopefully have on here soon.
Just realised I've been doing this entire thing the wrong way around. What I should have been doing is having your stream on the monitor in front of me, so I haven't got to keep looking over there to see what's going on. Look at you here, and then it's better. I'm just face on the whole time.
See, you learn along the way. The same as I originally was gonna. I've put your face on my screen there, and I was just gonna sit here and look at you that way, and I've then turned my camera so that it looks like I'm staring at you, right? However,
that's where you are now.
There we go. See, now it makes sense.
Feels like Parkinson's now.
It's an interesting wall.
That's the really funny thing about it. You see, that's the thing. I'm literally just talking straight at my wall. Right? There's not even anything on it. And I tell you what, that reminds me of the time when I went and met Michael Bolton. He was the first person that came to mind. I don't know why. I'm not even particularly big.
That's the thing though. Like, it's small things like that. Like, for example, now instead of watching you on that screen, I've now moved the actual OBS software on the middle of the screen, and then your actual camera is directly underneath, which is just perfect because it looks like I'm looking at the camera now.
Yeah.
But even that, small changes makes a big impact, and I feel like recognizing those small changes is really going to help the smaller streamer / content creator, which is why I wanted to start this. And I, just thinking about it now, I think this would be really interesting to do some point down the line, but ask you the same questions and just see how your opinions have changed over your growth. Yeah, that will be a really cool follow up.
That was the exact point of the vlogs that I was talking about way back at the start, and said it was a bit like a time capsule. I'll go and look back at that in like 5 or so years and be like, was I really like that? Or yeah, I mean, that's what inevitably it will be. Because I know that's what it was when I was putting the 5-year compilation together. I was like, oh my god, is that what I was like? But then at the same time, you do kind of look at it and go, well, I'd never be that dumb now. And you learn as you go on without really realizing.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that some people can look at this.
It's kind of video documentation of it, and then you can go, oh, actually, yeah, I did think that. I was very misguided. Whereas now I've seen the error of my ways. I've seen the light, and it is no longer orange.
Yes, that's another thing. We finally managed to get your camera to work. Well, I say we, you have. I just sat along. Oh god! But that's the thing. That's the thing. I really do hope that some people can watch this video and just kind of take small things that we've spoken about and maybe use that to better themselves and think about streaming with more of an attitude of can I instead of I'm going to, because sometimes it is better to make sure that you can first before you actually get into it, because like we both said, we both put money into this, and if it's not going to end up going anywhere, it's money you've paid for an experience.
Yeah.
But
which is not too different from skydiving. At least if you put money into Twitch, you're much less unlikely to die. No, much less unlikely is a double negative. Much less likely to die. Just
less dangerous.
Yes. At least if you put money into Twitch, you're less likely to die.
just like the risk of. Although the chances of being killed by a cow are very slim, they are never zero.
This is true. I would be phenomenally surprised.
Everyone turns around. Moo! Moo! Oh god.
I do hear some weird noises from this bedroom, but never one of an approaching cow.
But finally, have you got any questions that you'd like to ask me? Or the stream, or just in general?
I think we've probably been over it on other occasions. I'd be interested to know what your catalyst was for starting to stream. Have you been doing it long before our paths crossed, or was that literally kind of around that time when you started?
It has been less. Actually, I began streaming, myself and Jits began streaming at the beginning of the first lockdown.
Right. Was this in March?
Yeah, in March. And the catalyst that made me actually say yes, let's do it, was we was building a town called COVID Town, and I really loved all the buildings in there and all the work that we've done, and I was like, this is sick. Like, I just want to share it with people. Like, this is amazing. And then Jets was like, why don't you stream it? I'm like, can I? And then it literally led from that, and then we played the first one. I was like, it's pretty easy, to be honest. Like, it's alright. Like, I like it. And I had a couple of people come in, and then, I think I had maybe one person come in. I don't know. And then it was it wasn't many episodes into it. It was like maybe 5, maybe 6 episodes in, when Nitro Storm, one of the other members of Pandemic Crew, raided Jets, and I was streaming at the same time as Jets at that time, and then he lost his biscuit when he got raided, and I lost my biscuit. I was like, no way, you got like 14 people watching you, that's mad, you're famous, man. Like like it was crazy to the both of us. And yeah, we literally just flew around and showing the survival world that we built, and yeah, it was that. And I think in the beginning for me it was more I want to show off the builds that we've done, but then as time has progressed, it stopped being about that, and it's actually been more about it's really strange, and I think it's a bit of a cliche in my opinion, but chat comes here for the streamer, but I feel like the streamer comes here for the chat.
Yeah, I can see why.
Because
otherwise, again, you're just on your own talking to yourself in a room.
That's just it though, because a lot of people might be introverts in person, but via a text chat, or in some cases a video chat or a voice chat, that allows them a certain bit of comfort, being able to just essentially back out of it whenever they want to, if they wish to do so, which don't really have that same sort of interaction control in real life. So I do feel like I come here for chat. I come here for the people that come to watch me. I feel like I'm, in a way, I wouldn't say obligated to it, but I don't know. I genuinely miss talking to people. There's been certain people that I've messaged and I was like, yo, how you doing? Like, you alright? Like, I've not seen you in chat in a while. And yeah, that's my first catalyst, essentially, to streaming.
Okay. I think I have one more question as well.
Fire away.
Just to inspire you to try and keep keep this going, and also to revisit at one point since March, so since you've started streaming, what has been your highlight or your biggest achievement, your biggest personal win? And so when you look back on this and revisit it, you can see the trajectory that you've gone on. What's been the top moment for you so far? Might be a bit of a big question, but
it's not. It's a clear winner. Okay, so content creation wise, biggest moment to date was when Nitro raided Jets and myself, and it was at that moment that made me realise that there is actually people in the world that are not arseholes. Because I didn't understand why, and to this day I understand now because I've done it myself, where we've raided someone. But yeah, to me that was one of the biggest moments, because it was from there that we've come so far as to where we are now. And personally, outside of streaming, but still kind of tied in with it, is one of my viewers felt comfortable enough to share their personal growth with me when they haven't told others. And that, to me, it made me, it's really weird, because it made me feel really emotional, because I was like, wow,
I didn't realize it was part of the job. Hang on a second.
But but it was I genuinely felt privileged, because I was like, wow, they see me in such a way that they want to share that information, because it was without prompt. And that is something that is personal to me. That hit me right here, and it hit hard. But yeah, that's for me. What about for you?
Oh, I wasn't expecting
Uno return card.
Yeah. So I think with regards to recently is probably the easiest way to answer the question. For kind of similar reasons, when I was talking earlier about the map maker who's gotten in touch sort of 8 years later just to say, I rewatched it, it was as good now as it was then, thank you so much, and all that. That for me was a really kind of humbling moment, and something that I'll hold on to, because again, all of a sudden you're put into this position where I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but sitting in this chair playing video games, I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. I'm sitting here playing video games, and through Twitch affiliate and stuff, I'm able to earn a little bit of money doing this. And playing video games is nothing other than recreational. It shouldn't be anything other than recreational and all that sort of stuff. But you're having a profound impact on people that in the moment you don't think of. I never imagined when I played through his maps that 8 years later the guy would be getting in touch with me again just to go, I still think you're brilliant, or paraphrasing. But like, just to say, it still means something to me 8 years on, and that they've then bringing it right back around, taking their own personal time out of the day to relaunch that relationship a little bit. And I think that always will be the case for me, is when it's a stranger on the internet comes to you and goes, you have impacted me in some way. That's got to be the proudest moment, because like I say, just sitting here in a chair playing video games, what possible effect can you have on people? Apparently there's room for an impact on people, and it's not something I ever really, certainly don't think about whilst sitting here playing, and have never thought about up until the other week when it happened.
Yeah. That's just it. It's more than just sitting here playing games, as much as our parents and our fair friends think that we're doing.
If they've learned to accept it now. One of my friends said, "Hey, what are you doing next week?" I was like, "I can do the daytime. I'm streaming in the evenings." So now, rather than structuring streams around my friendships having to be structured around that. They just got to make do. Sorry, guys. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I can relate and agree to both of those. Oh god, but my parents still think that. Oh, what's the point of you playing games? It's not worth your while. It's like, I like it. Shut up.
It's not a phase, Mom. It's a career now.
That's the thing. They won't realize it's a career until I have to work. I have to work enough to be able to turn this into more than just a phase.
Yeah.
And
There was a news article like shortly after I'd started doing it, and my parents were like, "Oh, you're doing this and stuff," and it was like about how PewDiePie was a millionaire or something. I think the article was like, millionaire YouTube video game star donates like £1 million to the WWF or something like that.
Mm.
And they were like, "It's not you, is it?" I was like, "I wish that was me." If I had $1 million to give to the WWF would not be getting it, first of all. We're upgrading that toaster we have in the kitchen first. Then the WWF can have a look at. I think times are changing, attitudes are changing. It's not so weird now to say to people, "Oh, play video games in my spare time, and strangers on the internet pay me to do it sometimes."
Oh, it still amazes people.
Tying into what you said about not everyone in the world being bad people. Was someone that it was just a random person donated £15 of their own money or something like that. And whilst it shouldn't really be about money, I joke about it every now and then, but the fact that again a stranger just kind of goes, "Here's some of my personal money that I have worked for, you have that."
Yeah.
Why? Are you sure?
Yeah. No, I can.
You take that. Why?
Yeah.
And that still feels very, very surreal. And I don't think that's something that ever goes away.
That's the thing. Nitro and a few others in the chat said Paul, Nitro. I think it was Sharks at the time. I can't remember all their names. There's quite a few of them, but I'm not joking. They quite literally brought me to tears because they donated just so much money in one of my streams that I was like, hold on, I didn't know this was even going, like, people could even do this. Like, I thought I was just putting that on there just to have it on there to look more professional. I didn't think people actually did this. And then in one night they just donated so much money that it made me feel like emotion overload, just started crying. Honestly, I think I was just literally back there sitting on the floor crying. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, to think that people deem this to be worthy of donating to is something that I will genuinely never understand. Because it's me. Like I said before, there's so many people better than me, but it's just me. Like I'm not great. Like I'm just me.
It's a crazy thing to be involved with, but I'm very glad to be. Certainly.
But yeah. Anyway, can you just quickly type anything in chat, please?
Anything?
Yeah.
Specifically anything or anything?
Generalized anything.
Okay. Generalized. That's a word.
Generalized. Well,
generalized.
For those that don't know, Tack is a streamer and a YouTuber. The lovely person that has been on the screen with me for most of the night is also a YouTube content creator. Please go and follow him. His YouTube is Tackproductions, I believe.
Yeah, and everything is under the same name.
Everything is the same name. So please search him up if you have issues finding him. If you do !Discord in my Twitch chat, you will join the Discord, read through the rules, press that thumbs up. He is one of the members of the Pandemic crew. There you'll be able to find all of his socials, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Cinemagram, Facebooks, arm books, shoulder books. They're all there. You click on all of them.
I ain't got half of those platforms.
But speaking of the devil, Nitro's here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, please go follow him.
Thank you.
Share some love.
Appreciate it.
And no, I actually appreciate you for being the first person that I have this sit down and talk to. It has been very informative. I certainly feel like I've learnt more about who you are than I did beforehand. In a good
Thank
way.
you.
In a good way.
It's been very introspective. I've enjoyed kind of looking inwards and also finding out how others are kind of approaching it as well. Because like even though I'm nowhere near big or famous, was that I guess realistically I'm a bit of a dinosaur in that I've been YouTubing for 11 or 12 years and just come into this, so it's changed a lot. So I'm interested to see how the young guns are holding up the traditions, you know.
The filter's broken.
oh. There we go. It should be better now. Sorry. It's like a little toggle switch. Sometimes it just slips down. You know how the latch catches on the door sometimes?
It's that old school.
There we go.
It's just a huge lever that the whirring of the engine.
Got to give it some choke a little.
Oh my god, brilliant. But yeah, if you don't have any other questions, then I feel like this would be a brilliant time and a good ending point for this segment of my channel.
It's been a wonderful afternoon. I've had a lot of fun just chatting.
Awesome. Good.
It's been a long time since I've been able to do that. Thanks, COVID.
Indeed. Literally could not. You've hit the nail on the head. But yeah, like I said before, thank you for coming on and for speaking with me.
For allowing me to speak and be here.
And I look forward to seeing where you end up in the future. Hopefully it's going to be a bright one. I'm going to personally try, if I can in any way help, then I'll help.
Hopefully bright, but hopefully not orange.
Yeah, well...
That was that catchphrase, wasn't it? I don't remember. The future bright, the future orange. That was grasping at straws. That wasn't my best work. But...
God. Right, well, everyone in chat, peace out, and I'll see you next time.
Bye everybody.